So if you clicked on this video, you're probably worried about gutters, gutter guards, plugging. Makes sense because you live in Seattle and it's a temperate rainforest. So you're gonna love this. Hi, I'm Jim Singletary, and we're gonna talk about gutter guards. Why do you have them? Why do you need them? What categories there are, and then which one's the best around here. In this market, it's different from other areas. Of course, it rains all the time. We've got fir needles, we've got leaves, we've got moss, we've got algae. We've got this unique mix of like rainforest atmosphere where, Ohio, maybe they've just got some oak leaves and it's once a year. It's much easier to make a gutter guard that will perform there than here where it's like wet for 8 months. So I'm excited, let's get to it. The reason that you have a gutter system at all is your roof catches all this rain and it diverts it to the edge. Got to do something with it. It gets caught in that gutter, and that is controlling that flow and then funneling it back to a single drain or a series of drains, your downspouts, right? So this canal at the edge of your roof catches the water and then takes it down to your underground drains. Problems come when there's something that interrupts that flow. It's almost worse than if you had no gutter at all at this point, because the water is still being funneled to one point, but instead of it going down a controlled drain, now it's water falling somewhere next to your foundation and you're flooding. It's bad in a bathtub, and it's also bad on the outside of your home. The gutter plugging and failing in the Seattle area tends to lead to a lot of overflow and infiltration of the water underneath the home that then evaporates up through the structure and gets an excessive amount of moisture in the attic. And then if you don't have enough ventilation, now you got mold in the attic, and you trace that whole thing back, it's because you didn't have a good gutter guard. So if you're wondering why you would spend money on a gutter guard when you could just clean the gutters, it's technically true, right? You could absolutely just clean the gutters every time the wind blows, but it's hard to notice problems if it's not your job. Again, that's where gutter guards come in. They're supposed to just be on the job all the time. Ideally, you're not having to worry about it. This is all assuming that you're doing the maintenance yourself and you're not paying somebody else. If you go and you pay somebody else, well, you're very quickly going to spend way more than if you got a quality gutter guard. I mean, gosh, everything costs so much for labor in the Seattle area. If you pay somebody to come out, even if you only pay them a couple $100 each time, that's going to add up pretty quickly. Not to mention, in the scenario where you've got open gutters and an open drain, again, like the bathtub, before it plugs, all the debris is going down. Well, where's it going? Eventually it's going to plug the top, but what about all the debris that made it down? Where's that going to plug? Where does that get hung up? Is that how your underground drain gets plugged, right? And now you're tearing up your lawn, or you're calling Roto-Rooter out to fix it. A lot of older homes, the gutters actually drain into the side sewer. So you can actually plug your whole sewer system with debris from the roof. And that's really expensive. Plumbers charge more than anybody I know. I think they charge more than lawyers now. So I try to avoid having them out to my home, and I recommend you do the same. All right, so I'm going to do a really brief overview of the different types of gutter guards, but before we get into that, unlike roofing or almost anything else that's kind of a regulated industry, there is no ASTM or standard for gutter guards. There's no like benchmark for this is a minimally effective gutter guard and this one's not. None of that. It's the Wild West. You can put and sell and market anything and it doesn't have to work. Like, you can make any claim you want. So you'll see all kinds of claims, and if you look around, they're all gonna say, oh, I have the best one. Well, there's no standard, so it's the best in their opinion. Great. Broadly speaking, you've got a couple of categories. You've got reverse curves, so that's the hood, brands like Gutter Helmet, Leaf Guard, things like that. And then you've got micro mesh, that's gonna be things like Leaf Filter, MasterShield, and a host of other knockoffs. But I would break that into broader categories. What you've really got is stuff that will work around here and everything else. In my opinion, having looked at least 10,000 different roofs and having installed thousands of different gutter guard systems all across the board, we've tried them all because they tell us they're amazing and there's no way to find out unless you try. What you need is something that can handle algae, moss, needles, leaves, and lots of water. So needles, as opposed to leaves, fir needles especially, they're an inch. They're tiny little javelins that fall all over the place, get into everything. They just mat up. They don't just fall over things naturally. I mean, if you look at your roof and you have any, they get up there and they stay there. If you have a product that is flat on top, so you got the gutter underneath, and essentially what you've got is something flat, it's not going to work. What it's going to do, maybe, is keep stuff from getting down into the gutter, and so their claim that the gutter doesn't clog is technically true, but the guard will plug, and they don't guarantee that the water will go in. MasterShield is installed at the same angle as the roof, so if you've got a steep roof, it's at that angle. So you don't have any place, if the debris made it down to the gutter, it's going to come off. That product works great. It's got copper built into it. It's got stainless steel. It's all metal. So here is a in-home demonstration piece for MasterShield. We've got our gutter, we've got our fake fascia, we've got our brackets. That's where the downspout would go. So what you can see is when the water comes down, it's going to go through this filter and it's going to fall into the gutter. And of course, it's not going to plug. But that's not unique. Leaf filter would say the same thing. They would just have this thing basically flat. And they'd say if it makes it in, of course, it's not plugged. But you want more than that, right? The purpose of the gutter guard is to make sure that the runoff of your roof is contained, funneled safely to your drains. If your gutter guard plugs, then you've spent money and you're in the same place, right? So we want to avoid wasting money. I know I do. The reason I like this product, it's installed at the same angle as the roof. So if this roof were steeper, then the whole thing would just be steeper. It's made with 316 stainless steel. So that is saltwater grade stainless steel. So we can put it anywhere. We don't have to worry about corrosion issues or rust or anything like that. It's got copper embedded into the mesh. Why does that matter? A lot of people don't think about this, but if you have something that's thin like this, a nice tight mesh, so that you get good filtration, what you'll get is algae. If this plugs with algae, how well is it working? Well, technically, it's keeping the gutter from plugging, right? You get the idea. It's not what you paid for. The copper kills algae. It's totally unique to MasterShield. They've got a patent on it. I think there's 6 patents on this thing. It's incredible. But that one alone for the Seattle market makes this completely different from every other product out there. Because even if everything else worked the way that it was supposed to, if it plugs with algae, it doesn't matter. It's got copper. It's got the stainless steel. It's all metal. Why does that matter? So a leaf filter, as a comparison, is a plastic body. So just like if you have lawn furniture that's plastic, the sun eventually kills that thing, right? It's just a matter of time. Whereas aluminum, stainless steel, not going to break down in the sun. Second thing, if you have dissimilar materials, so if you have a PVC base and you've bonded it to stainless steel, when it gets hot, when it gets cold, these all expand and contract, right? All materials do that. Well, if they expand and contract at different rates, it tears itself apart, right? Because now you have a bunch of tension at these clamps or at these caulking joints. So in the wild, we see leaf filter that is the screen's falling out. Not great. There's some little things that we do in the Seattle market that are different, like at this joint here. You know, this is just a metal on metal joint. And what happens is when the water comes down, if it's raining really hard, it'll hit the bracket and splash up and kind of wick around and you get standing on the face of the gutter. We don't like that. We don't want you to see drips on here because it tends to attract dirt and it just doesn't look good. Like, you paid good money for quality work. So what we do is we put some sealant, like a weather stripping, on top of the gutter here, so that when this sits down, there's a seal in there, right? Doesn't look any different, just takes a little extra work on our part. Because this has a drip edge built into it, right? So that when all that muck that used to plug your gutters sheds off of here, it misses the gutter, right? So this doesn't get all gross. Well, what we found is that we were still getting little bits of water on there and you'd get algae. So anyway, small thing. We just want it to be as good as we can, and so we spend an extra, whatever, 12 cents a foot to put some weather stripping on there. That way, this drip edge does everything you expect it to do, and then when you're looking at this thing, you know, right, you're looking up at it. You're not typically looking down on the product because, you know, it's taller than you. So I've talked about a lot of the technical things, and there's more to it, but of course it's got a guarantee. The guarantee is that the gutter will never plug or your money back. Pretty good. The important thing though, and this is the skeptical part, it's not enough to rely on a guarantee, right? What you want to rely on is common sense, logic. Is this thing actually going to do what I expect it to do? Or are these just salesman claims? The reality is the manufacturer of MasterShield, they're in New Jersey, they make the product. It's a great product, but they don't install it. So just like with roofing, you know, you can have a world-class material installed by dum-dums and it's not going to perform. Installation of this is just as important as the engineering of the product. So there's a lot of things that go into the fit and finish to make it a quality job. So for us, all of our installations are done in-house because we figured out how to do this to maximize the effectiveness of the product. No system is maintenance free. No roof is maintenance free. You can get a metal roof. It needs a lot less maintenance, but that's still less maintenance. There are no magic gutter guards, right? If you need a gutter guard, it's probably going to need something at some point. The logical thing to do is to think of this as something that greatly elongates the amount of time it takes in between, your maintenance. Same as getting, again, a metal roof, for example. If you get a metal roof and you get MasterShield, maybe instead of doing maintenance twice a year, maybe you're doing it every 5 years, right? And you're making it so that you can't get water damage to your home in the meantime. I just don't want to oversell something. It's really good stuff, but compared to the competition, it's light years ahead. So we've made a dedicated website to this whole category called mosseaters.com. And we've got comparisons there in detail of a lot of different systems versus MasterShield. We have some case studies, a lot of information if you want to dig deeper. And if you want to get an in-home demonstration, fill out the form and ask us to come out. We'd be happy to help. For more content on roofing and related information, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll keep this thing going.